Hi everyone, and welcome to Wildcard Wednesday, Wednesday, February 9th. And I apologize for not putting up a video last week. It's been really crazy around here. On this episode, I'm going to actually make a little mini mailbox with 3 2x2 Valentine cards in it. So first we're going to start with the mailbox. And we're going to be using a template from the Stampin' Up! Website, and it has 3 pieces. This part here, we'll be cutting 2 of those. This is the floor, the base of the mailbox, and this rectangular piece here. And if you want the template, please send me a private email in YouTube, and I'll send you the link to the PDF for the template. The next thing I'm going to be using is real red ink, some ribbon, which I'm going to iron the wrinkles out with my ribbon iron right there. It's warming up. Some real red designer paper from an old 6x6 Stampin' Up! Pad, but any red paper will do. Some Whisper white cardstock, a little piece of white netting or tulle. Not sure if you can see that. And the polka dot punches stamp set, which has that heart stamp right there. So let's get started. Okay, I went ahead and cut out the pattern pieces, and I want you to see that on the bottom part or the base of the mailbox there is a dotted line for scoring, as well as on the end piece here. The template only comes with 1 end piece, but for this little mailbox I would like you to cut out 2 pieces. So I cut out my mailbox. I'm going to be using this side here and the floor here, and I've already scored it up, and the 2 end pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and adhere them. I'm going to add adhesive right here along these lines here, and then glue this from the outside, curl it over, and do it on the other side. You'll notice on one end of the flap I added about a 1/4 inch tab, that little red piece there, and I adhered it down because I want to keep one end of this mailbox closed. So I'm just going to glue that right there on the top part of the flap, on the top part of the flap, and then I will close it up and then put adhesive on the printed side of the flap and tuck it inside, and then go from the other end and maybe reach in with a pencil to make sure that it adheres to the top of the mailbox. So it keeps it closed kind of like that. You still have the little spaces, but at least it keeps it closed. It's just a more finished look to the mailbox, and they didn't have that on the original template. And here I am now ironing my ribbon with my ribbon iron. It's just a lot quicker than setting up the iron. You plug it in, it gets hot. It's very much like a flat iron for your hair. So you just slide the wrinkled ribbon through and pull it in through one end, and the ribbon just comes out as straight as can be. So it's a really handy tool to have around, especially if you use a lot of ribbon on your crafts. And there you can see all the wrinkles are gone. Got our mailbox all finished here. I've added some ribbon on the side and then just a little ribbon tab closure on that one end. I'm going to take our piece of netting, fold it in half, and run it over and under like a gathering wide basting stitch along the bottom of that netting, like so. And what we're trying to do is kind of just to make a little rosette. So you can see I very quickly gathered it around, finished, sewed it together, and just kind of made a little bit of a rosette. Now you could use this by itself with a bling or a button there, but we're going to place our stamped heart there. So we're going to adhere our little rosette here to the side of our mailbox and then stamp our heart on Whisper white cardstock. I've gone ahead and stamped the heart design out on Whisper White, and I stamped one out for the side of the mailbox and the other 3 for our 2x2 cards. They're going to be very simple little cards, and so I wanted, because they're so tiny, I wanted them to all be the same. I'm going to cut out around the card, leaving a little bit of a white edge. So I cut out my 3 cards that measure 2 by 4 and folded them in half. And then I cut some of that netting. It's just a little bit bigger than 2 inches because I wanted it to overlap like that. And you can probably see the adhesive just in the middle there to adhere it on, because the heart is going to go over top of that, so you're not going to see that adhesive. And then what I'm going to do is take our heart that we left a little bit of white trim on and put a button in the center. And I just saw this really cool tip on YouTube. If you wanted to match your, I believe it's Stamps by Heather, if you want to match your cardstock with your thread and you don't happen to have the thread, I mean, I do have white thread, you take a really thin piece of paper. This is probably even too thick. I'm going to cut that in half. And you run it through, and I'll show you on the mailbox. And it ends up, the paper matches exactly the cardstock. So if you were using real red or mustard or whatever, your thread or your paper thread will match your card exactly. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish these cards up right now. So here's our finished little project, our mailbox with our 2x2 square inch little valentines. Really quick but super cute project. You'll notice the only difference between the hearts on the card and the one in the mailbox is I just added a little red mat of real red paper around that so it would pop from that lace trim there. And you can see the little cards poked out, so it fits 3 quite nicely. And I think it would make a super great teacher present, particularly if you have kids in nursery school or in a classroom where there's more than one teacher. You could address an individual card to each one of them and then pop some chocolates inside, and be super easy and inexpensive way to say thank you around Valentine's Day. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.